in yoga, reclining twist, sometimes referred to as a lying spinal twist. This twist is a lovely spinal twist, spinal rotation, particularly on the lower back. And it may affect people in the hip, and maybe as far down as the knee, people may be able to feel this one. It's a great rotation of the spine. Now, I've got a number of choices with the arms. As a basic, the arms are out to the side in a capital T, or, which I prefer, you put them in a cactus type position, which works on stretching off the internal rotators, which most people are tight on. You may find your hands can't relax on the floor, or can't rest on the floor. You may want to consider putting some sort of support underneath the hands or underneath the forearms. Depends on your flexibility, and you might find it's different in one arm, one shoulder than the other. It's a lovely one to do, and particularly near the end of a practice. It's great for releasing tension in the spine. From a prop point of view, Tanya's got the props underneath the arms. You may not actually need that. But one thing to consider is having a bolster or a block or some sort of support, depending on how flexible you are, underneath the thighs or the knees to the side you're reclining, you're twisting to. As Tanya's demonstrating. You may not need that, but you may want a block in between the knees. I certainly do when I do it. You might still want the block underneath the knees, but some people, males' hip anatomy is slightly different, and I tend to prefer some sort of block or bolster between the knees. Just go back to the basic pose, Tanya, without the prop. What some people have issues with, I do again, because I'm tight in the hips and male anatomy is such that they'll be tighter in the tensor fascia lata. And they may find that this top knee rises up and almost the pelvis wants to roll back. So one thing you can do for that is to fold the legs over. Just cross the legs over, Tanya. That does two things. It helps keep the leg down and it is more of an intense stretch. This is great for helping and treating sciatic, certain issues, because it stretches off the glutes, piriformis a bit more, down the lateral part, the side part of that right thigh. And it intensifies the stretch on the spine. Makes it a little bit harder. Getting into the pose is relatively simple. Just lie on your back normal. Tanya will show how to get into the pose. So just lie on your back. And just draw both knees into your chest. Open your arms out to the side or put them in the cactus position. And then with control, just slowly drop and lower the knees as a unit down to one side. Now I'm just going to show a basic one today. Now you can play around with the hip angle. So just bring your knees into your chest, Tanya, up towards the ceiling, Tanya. Now just lift them up, bring your knees closer towards your chest and then lower down. Alternatively, do it the opposite. Open up the hip angle, slide the feet further away, Tanya, and then rotate round. It just gets different parts of the body. It's said that bringing the knees closer towards the chest helps relieve sciatic type pain. Experiment, play around with it. It will affect you slightly differently in the up and down the length of the spine, on the pelvis, the hips, and maybe even the knees. And that's reclining twist, lying spinal twist.